Friday morning. I don't need these on yet. Good Friday morning. I'm Matt Carothers, and welcome to everyone's favorite 30-minute horse racing program. Welcome to Blinkers Off on this 11-11-11. Oh, if you're a numerologist out there, this is going to be an exciting time for you. And we have an exciting 30 minutes planned for you. You know, we're going to talk Breeders' Cup. We're going to go back and talk about the upsets, the prices, the performances. We'll do that. And, you know, I'm so excited to talk about the horse of the year. You know, banter. I mean, to me, I could talk about horse of the year for, I mean, literally, we could do 3 hours straight of this. And horse of the year, horse of the year, horse of the year. We have some handicapping to discuss as well. How about the Queen Elizabeth II Commemorative Cup from Japan Saturday night? We'll be discussing that as well, and I'll be doing so with the co-host of the program this week, who now joins me from Woodbine Racecourse. I don't think technically in Toronto. Are you technically in Toronto, Jeff Bratt, or are you right outside Toronto?
Just outside, the outskirts.
Just outside, and a man who is still on cloud nine. Well done hitting that 50-cent late pick for Breeders' Cup Saturday. I think I have it written down, $46,700. That's amazing. Court Vision at 131.60. I don't know, how'd you do it? Please
well,
tell.
Court Vision raced here at Woodbine. You know, I saw closely the horse here in the Woodbine Mile. Won it a couple of years ago, and I knew, you know, just he was due. You know, and I just had a feeling that, you know, with the trainer change, second time the new trainer, you know, I just thought he was in store for a peak effort.
Well, as my dad's been telling me my entire life, you're not as dumb as you look.
Well, I appreciate that.
You're really not. My dad says it affectionately. I think he does. I'm not really sure about that. I'll have to call him and ask him that for sure afterwards.
Boy, there were some wacky results, though, weren't there?
You should have had Court Vision, winner of the Woodbine Miles. You mentioned 2010.
Yeah.
Now I need my glasses. Perfect Sherrill, second at Woodbine in her last start. I mean, come on. You should have cleaned up with all these Woodbine tie-ins.
Yeah, I should have had the exacta with Tour Lure finishing second, the winner of this year's Woodbine Mile. Yeah. I mean, I should have been all over these things.
Do you think he won? Do you think he won the TVG Breeders' Cup Mile when they hit the wire? It looked like he did to me initially.
I bet him to win in place, Matt. Geez. I was cheering. I was doing the high fives. I was watching with Don Lupo, and when Julian Leperoux gave me the fist pump, I'm like, okay, he thinks he's won the race. So
yeah, I missed
then I watched the slow motion.
If you're going to lose like that, you might as well lose to a horse that's 8 zillion to 1, because I'm guessing it helped the place price. What did Tour Lure pay to place?
Actually, it was a terrible place price.
Really? It was diseased?
It was terrible. Yeah, it was less than $10.
No, it wasn't. That's not possible.
Yeah.
You had a $131 winner, and Tour Lure was a prize in his own right. He didn't pay $10 to place.
I think it was around $10. I think it was around.
I had a 7-to-1 shot at Hollywood yesterday, a short field, and a 3-to-1 shot won, and I got $8 to place.
And that's with Goldakova off the board.
That is terrible. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
We're showing you, and again, I don't want to, revisit the 8 horses being knocked around, because to me it's getting a little tiresome. Everyone's been talking about it, so we'll touch on it for about 8 seconds. I said this on the air, and I'll say it one more time, and then I'm gonna put it to rest. Yes, she should have come down and been placed last. I told you, we were conversing before the show started a couple minutes ago. I was more surprised there wasn't a steward's inquiry put up immediately that actually took, with all that's going on here, your winner is actually affected. Court Vision's affected by that right there. I can't believe the inquiry sign wasn't put up, that it took, 7 riders running to the telephone to call for an objection to go up before the inquiry. I was more surprised with that than the fact they actually didn't make a change.
That's one of my pet peeves, is they'll often say, well, we're looking at it, but we just didn't put the inquiry sign up. If you're looking at it, put up the inquiry sign, because the public needs to know that you are looking at a possible infraction, so they have to put the inquiry sign up. If they're looking at it and they don't put up the inquiry sign, what's the point of the public doesn't know that. Put up the inquiry sign if you're looking at anything. I'd rather have 4 inquiries on a program knowing that you're looking at it than thinking, well, maybe they're not looking at it. That's my feeling.
I mean, again, the great thing about Breeders' Cup from a gambling standpoint is you don't have to, literally, I was pretty terrible all week. I had musical romance in the Filly and Mare Sprint, and I actually had a good Friday because of one race. I was terrible on Saturday, but if you just get a couple, you can get one. If you can get one Court Vision or one Perfect Sherrill, you can do some damage. Then going into the Classic, I think there was one gentleman who was alive in the pick 6 somehow. It was amazing, and he had the right idea because he was alive to Ruler on Ice in Rattlesnake Bridge. So he's thinking the race is going to fall apart. Nobody's a 1.25 mile horse. That's exactly what happened. He just didn't have the right horse to take advantage of that, and that's Drosselmeyer down the center of the racetrack. Final time, what was it, 2:04.1, second slowest time in the history of the Breeders' Cup Classic, and a stayer wins the Breeders' Cup Classic because the horses, the most talented horses in the field, prove they're not 10 furlong horses.
And I think this says a lot about the older horse division that we knew going into this race. It's not as strong as we've seen in previous years. And this is a horse that did come from off the pace and was able to pull off the victory. The buyer here was 104. I mean, when horses like Cigar won this race, they ran a lot faster. So this is just an older horse division that is not very good right now. And take nothing away from Game On Duty, ran a heck of a race, but this is a race that, I mean, we're never going to compare it to some of the great Breeders' Cup Classics that we've seen in the past.
And Jeff, you know what I'm saying here. I give all the credit. It was all about Bill Mott was the star of the weekend because he wins the Ladies' Classic with Royal Delta, and obviously he wins the Breeders' Cup Classic with Drosselmeyer. Not to diminish Drosselmeyer's win, it was a huge win. You can make the argument in defeat. Game On Dude ran as well. You can make that argument because he did all the dirty work. The rail was not good at that time of the afternoon. Speed was not doing that well at that time of the afternoon. You had dead closers like Caleb's Posse down the center of the track, Drosselmeyer as well, and he put away everybody, whether it was Uncle Mo or So You Think or Havard, everybody that came after him to honor and serve, he put those horses away. So the fact that Chantel was able to last and finish second, that horse ran great. Obviously, your winner ran well, and really nobody else did.
And you know what's amazing too, Matt, is the fact this horse is just so appropriately named because he is so game. I think Chantel started riding this horse about 4 furlongs from home. And I'm thinking, you know what? He's not going to get anything. And for him to just miss, I mean, that says a lot about how game he was. But, I mean, what did we learn about the Classic? I don't think we got any clues there in terms of Horse of the Year. I mean, Havre de Grace, she ran well, but she didn't win the race. So.
Kind of a non-threatening fourth.
Yeah.
And then nobody hits the pick six, and 5 pays $95,000, which is amazing. to me, I think we'll go through maybe another race or two before we move on. The most exciting race, I think that maybe the best performance was Caleb's Posse in the Dirt Mile. The most exciting race was the sprint. Was it not? I thought it was a really exciting race between Amazombi and Force Freeze. And Force Freeze, sat in the garden spot. I think even John Velasquez after the race said, maybe I started shaking him up a little early. Because the horses that were in front of him at that point were coming backwards. So maybe you don't have to work that hard at that point, knowing the horses in front of you are going to stop. And let's take a look at the sprint right now, because this was a match race, and you had 2 really good horses slugging it out. And I'm not a visual guy, but obviously, talking about all these races at Churchill, Amazombi in the paddock, I don't know if you noticed him. He looked unreal. And
really?
At this point, Jeff Bratt, I thought Amazombi might go on and win by 1.5 lengths. And Force Freeze showed tremendous guts, I thought, in battling back on the inside to make things interesting here late and lose by a neck. The race came up, I think it was at 9-1. This is off the top of my head, the final time. I know the buyer came back 107. So it was a good race, and the thing that I liked about it was we didn't have that many real competitive races. We had it here.
This was a fantastic finish, and for this horse to come from California and really kind of save the weekend for California, because they were struggling a little bit, and Amazombi was able to win it by a neck, won the Asian title, won this, and probably is going to be champion sprinter. But I feel kind of bad now for Caleb's Posse, too, because as you said, that horse probably ran the best race of anybody on Breeders' Cup weekend. What could he be in store for? Could he be champion 3-year-old? I doubt that he will be, because so many people say, oh, he's a miler, he's a sprinter. It has to go to a horse that goes around 2 turns. So will Animal Kingdom still be champion 3-year-old, Matt? I don't know. I mean, I think Caleb's Posse deserves something because of what he did this year.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, do you vote for talent or do you vote for body of work over a year? If you're a talent guy, then maybe you vote for Animal Kingdom. If you're a body of work guy, how do you vote for a horse who hasn't raced since May? I just, for an Eclipse Award, when you only raced the first 4.5 months of the year and didn't race the last 7.5 months, I can't vote for that. Here's Caleb's Posse doing his thing. Shackelford on the wrong lead down the inside, still game enough to hold on for a second. The buyer here was the highest, I think, of any, 111 on either day for Caleb's Posse. And, again, he got the setup up front. He's at the right part of the racetrack, but still, this was a powerful win. And, this was one of those, you didn't have as many wow performances this Breeders' Cup as you normally do. But this is one of those where I think I looked at Simon, who was to my left, I'm like, wow. Or it was Dave Grenning from the floor to my left, who liked this horse quite a bit. I went, nice call, Dave. Look at him extend at the end of this race.
Yeah, to me, it was him and Royal Delta. They were the two kind of marquee performances from the weekend. You know, they were the ones that really kind of stamped themselves as the horses that really showed up on that big day. And he was able to pull off that victory by about 4 lengths going away. And because of that, at least we'll have some discussion now for who will be champion 3-year-olds.
Well, I don't know. I think we're going to jump into Horse of the Year talk right now. I'll be honest with you. It's not the most exciting of topics to me, but a lot of people are talking about it. Steve Christ, in the Saturday Forum, the DRF, the Weekend Pull Edition, has this, I don't know if we can show it on camera here, but it's basically a roulette wheel with all the horses' names that are possible horses. I mean, he has no idea. Just spin the wheel, and wherever it lands, you know, that horse should be Horse of the Year, because it's such a wide open division. You see some of the names of the runners. I'm going to. He has Rapid Redux there, and I'm not being overly serious right now, so folks, don't take me too seriously. Was there a horse that created more buzz this year than Rapid Redux? He won 18 in a row. Is he as good as the other horses? No, folks, I'm not being completely serious, but I think it's kind of fun to include him in the conversation this year. I know he's winning at Charlestown, and I understand his competition and his numbers, so I don't need to get emails telling me that he would lose by 15 lengths in a race to any of these horses. I get it, but it's just kind of fun, you know, for the campaign that he's had. It's amazing. He's been as popular as any horse that we've had. We've seen this be a popularity contest to a certain extent in the past. I just think it's kind of fun. The horse raced 18 times this year alone, which is amazing, and he's won 19 in a row. If you want a serious, I'll hand the ball to you. On a serious note, I mean, who do you give it to? A lot of people are saying Acclamation right now. Can you give it to a horse who didn't even run Breeders' Cup Weekend? I guess you can, because so many of the results were so wacky that we had.
And didn't leave California with much success either, which kind of concerns me a little bit. He did have a great year. I mean, you look at his stats. I mean, he did it on polytrack. He did it on turf. He was just, all in all, a very, very good horse as we take a look at his performance in the TVG Pacific Classic. Yeah. I mean, it's would have, could have, should have. How would the horse have done? I don't know. But the bottom line to me is this, Maddie. With Havre de Grace, if she would have won in the Classic, the Breeders' Cup Ladies' Classic, that is, and won, would we even be having this discussion?
That's a big if. Would she have beaten Royal Delta?
That's very. You know, I mean, the last time she faced the horse,
you can't assume that she runs in the Ladies Classic. She would have won. Oh, she would have won the Ladies Classic. I don't think you can assume that. What if she runs in the Ladies Classic and loses?
Yeah, that's a valid point too.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of with you on
her body of work, I think, is more substantial than any other horse to this point. I know that Acclamation had a fantastic year, but she faced the boys. She took on Blind Luck. I think the girls are a lot better than the boys right now. For me, I still think she didn't lose anything. She didn't gain anything by her performance in the Breeders' Cup Classic, but I don't think she lost anything either.
And I realize Game On Dude lost to Acclamation at Del Mar. I don't think he liked that track at all. He's more of a dirt-type racehorse. So, I can kind of excuse that. I think Game On Dude should get it. He wins the Sandy to handicap. He loses by an inch in the Hollywood Gold Cup. He wins the Goodwood, and he ran as well as anybody in the Breeders' Cup Classic in defeat to finish second. I think that's enough for him to be Horse of the Year. I think that was a great second for him in the Breeders' Cup Classic. That's probably.
What about one other name? One other name, Matt. I'm just going to throw it there. Caleb's Posse. We often talk about that one. I mean, he will even be champion 3-year-old. I don't think he's got a chance for Horse of the Year. But another horse I want to focus in on is Cape Blanco. Here was one that had a good year, 3 Grade 1s. I don't know. Didn't beat much. I don't know what we make of that one. So
no, I mean,
I'll just toss another name into the ring.
That's fine. You can make a case for 7 or 8, and it'll be interesting to see, I guess, whom wins. I would imagine.
But if you were voting, you would go with Game On Dude right now.
I think I would probably go Game On Dude, but it's not like I'm, if he didn't win, I'd be angry with the results. I mean, right. So, picks recaps from last week. Again, I was diseased. Philly Mare Sprint saved my ROI. I mean, I think I had a positive ROI, Breeders' Cup, because of one winner. And
that's all you need.
Miss Match basically eased. Misty, for me, ran well in defeat. Miss Netta did not. And, I thought I had musical romance on this program. I'm almost positive I did. I'm almost positive
who's better looking, myself or John?
It's a coin flip. He's a handsome man, and I'm gonna dispute and go back with the selections here, because I'm almost positive I had musical romance, which would be $45. So I'm gonna dispute this right now, because I got a lot of emails thanking me for musical romance on Blinkers Off. And we have a cagey audience right now, so
Claim a foul.
Yeah,
Claim a foul.
I am. There's an inquiry. There's an inquiry here. So this ROI is not. So ROI is not valid. This is not valid. Okay. We're going to handicap now. We're going to handicap.
All right.
Wow, I was looking forward to one big winner. I can't even get that. Let's talk about our spotlight race. Our spotlight from your neck of the woods. This was a really fun race for me to handicap. The Autumn Grade 2 $150,000 event. I mean, I don't know. You tell me where we should begin here, our discussion.
Oh, boy. Well, the interesting placement of Pender Harbor, I think, is one thing. I mean, this is a horse that is going to be champion 3-year-old in this country for sure. There's an Ontario side race later on this meet that I think the horse would be perfect in. Loses the rider. You get Luis Contreras now riding a horse that just broke his maiden. And then you get City Wolf, who has done little wrong so far. I think City Wolf is a nice horse and is the horse to beat in this race. You look at the overall performance with this one in the Durham Cup. He's a big, good-looking horse. And one thing that Reed Baker said when he took over the train, the problem was when this horse was with Todd Pletcher, the horse would always get out on the turns. And it just seems like now everything is rectified right now with City Wolf, and he is certainly the horse to beat. And if he wins this race, Matt, he could be champion older horse here north of the border.
So is that where you're going? You're going City Wolf. I'm going to go with the horse. I'm going to go with the horse that he just defeated, James Street, in this race. I'm going to get a little bit of a better prize, not huge, 5-2 versus 4-1. I get Pat Husbands and Josie Carroll. I get a horse that maybe needed the Durham Cup on the 2nd of October, and maybe it wasn't his preferred distance at 1 1/8. I like the fact this horse cutting back to 1 1/16. All 4 of his wins at this distance. A nice win, 2 starts back. So I think back at 1 1/16, having needed that race a little bit, and City Wolf kind of coming off the pace to win that race easily, James Street might be the play and get first run and be able to hold off City Wolf at this shorter distance. We move on to the real quiet field of 6 going 1 1/16. 2-year-olds here at Hollywood Park on Saturday. It's supposed to pour, by the way, here Friday night and Saturday. Obviously, I know that does not affect the cushion track at Hollywood Park, but just FYI, it's supposed to get a lot of rain here in Southern California. I know Todd Schrupp excited about Captain Obvious going in this race. The 5-horse Joel Rosario for Ben Cecil. Another, it's only a field of 6, but you can make a case for any of them, can't you?
Oh, for sure. This is a very evenly matched field. I mean, you have the 2 horses in here for Jerry Hollendorfer, one that's coming off a victory in the Cal Cup Juvenile on dirt, has raced well on synthetic racing surfaces as well. So, I mean, you can make a strong case for that horse. You have others in here, like number 6, this being Liaison. But here's a look at Rousing Sermon that's able to win this race. What do we make of Rafael Bejarano? Now, I know that you spoke of this just the other day.
Yeah.
Jockey handicapping and stuff like that, it can throw you for a bit of a loop. But he did ride a lot of these horses last time out.
Yeah, he's starting to ride more for Baffert, so he goes with the 6 Liaison. I like that win from Rousing Sermon. I know it was dirt, but first 2-turn race, easy win. You saw him under wraps. I think the blinkers have helped this horse. And the horse that he went by, Motown Man, I think was 4-1 in the race and got an easy lead. So when a horse that makes sense gets an easy, uncontested lead and gets away with a 47.5 after actually working fairly hard that opening quarter, and Rousing Sermon's able to get by a horse like that with such relative ease, I thought it was a big performance. So I'm going to go with Rousing Sermon, Talamo for Hollendorfer. Again, your selection is?
Liaison, I'm going with that one. I just think the pedigree says longer, gets to go 1 1/16.
Okay, I think the weather is going to be, rain last night in New York. I think it's going to be nice this weekend. They have a 12-furlong event on Saturday on the turf, the Grade 3 Long Island handicap. And your favorite's going to be Emerald Beach, who won 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Then was 4th in the Flower Bowl behind Stace Alita, who came back at 9-5 and was 10th of 11 in the Philly and Mare Turf. Is that a negative to you, the way Stace Alita performed the Philly and Mare Turf? Or, well, that race was so much better, it has nothing to do with how Emerald Beach is going to perform in the Grade 3 Long Island?
Stace Alita, she didn't have the best of trips. I know when she got out, she didn't really have much of a punch, but I'm definitely willing to give her a mulligan. I mean, who knows how much her eye injury affected things, too. Maybe
Good point.
She's a little bit gun-shy.
Talking about Stace Alita.
I don't know. So I think she's definitely a lot better than what we saw there. I'm going towards Mekong Melody. Roger Atfield is unconscious as of late. He's winning with horses that haven't won all year. Perfect Shirl comes to mind. Miss Keller and the E.P. Taylor. And here she is last year in the Long Island Handicap. You know that she can win this race. She's done it in the past. I think she's as good as she once was. I think the E.P. Taylor was a strong race, and she is perfect at the distance. She's a perfect 3 for 3, so that's where I'm going with Mekong Melody. Yourself, Mr. Carothers.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I want to do in racing is at one point have a beer with Roger Atfield. I know he likes a beer. I like a beer. I'd like to have a beer to sit down with the legendary horseman. That's on my racing bucket list. Racing bucket list. Beer with Roger Atfield's like number 6. We're on
after partying, of course, with the Woodbine crew.
Yeah. Oh, I heard some great things about you from some of the Woodbine folks. They were there. Yeah.
Do I have to send a lot of checks to these people?
Norm Cassie said some really nice things about you.
I appreciate that.
He really did. I'm with Mekong Melody as well. You know, based on the performance in this race last year, based on the fact that she's been facing better. You mentioned Never Retreat, Perfect Cheryl Daveron. I'll go with Mekong Melody, probably going to be your second choice. The Glorious Song, this is Sunday, right? At Woodbine?
Correct.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little Sunday and another big field of 12 in race number 8 at Woodbine. I'll cut to the chase. I think we're running short on time a little bit. Painted Woman, I like in this race. I don't know. You know these horses so much better than I do. I just look at Painted Woman as a runner that I think might be able to control things from the inside. She's obviously in good form. She's won back-to-back races, and it's Contreras and Asmussen. That's enough for me. I think she clears this field, and she clears the field with the right connections, and she clears the field with the right connections in good form. So those are the 3 reasons why I made her my top selections. We're showing her win, essentially gate to wire, an allowance win in 9-2 at Keeneland in her last start.
I tip my cap to you, Matt, because you're going price shopping. She's going to be a good price because To End Away is going to be overbet in this race. That's where I've gone reluctantly. I just look at the names that To End Away's been facing. Stephanie's Kitten, Northern Passion. I mean, just horses that have been so good. I mean, these are Breeders' Cup horses. Now, To End Away, she was a huge disappointment in the El Sabates. There's no question. But on her home surface here on August the 13th in the Ontario Debutante, she was able to win by about a half a length. I'm embarrassed by this pick, but I couldn't find anybody else to beat her that I really did like. So because of that, I did land on To End Away, unfortunately.
Okay, we're done with the stakes handicapping. Time for our Saturday. Are we doing the Saturday play of the day now, Danielle? Or are we going to do a little... Oh, let's talk the Queen Elizabeth II Commemorative Cup. Danielle being the producer of Blinkers Off. Most of you are familiar with Danielle. This race is going to be exciting because you have Snow Fairy, who looked so great winning this race a year ago. You have Aventura, who I guess is the best chance for the locals in Japan, had a broken right front leg. Comes back at the end of July, has won 3 consecutive races, including a Group 1. You have Dancing Rain, who I don't even think is on this list here. It will be on page 2. That gets, I think in U.S. dollars, Greg Wolf helped me out with this, it's 63 million yen bonus if she were to win. That's $814,000. It's according to Greg Wolf. So if this isn't accurate, send him the emails. You have the Philly Triple Crown winner, and who is that? I'm not going to be
able to help you out here, Matt.
Apapani, excuse me. Philly Triple Crown winner, Apapani, who was in 3rd in this race, I think 3rd in this race a year ago. So it's going to be an exciting race with some of the best runners from Europe compete against some of the best local runners in Japan, right? You'll be tuned in.
I did a lot of reading on this last night because when Danielle told me we were covering this race, I must admit I went in not knowing a whole heck of a lot about this race. Yeah,
I mean,
and I just landed on Aventura. I just saw she's getting a lot of press. So
wow, okay.
Yeah. So
I guess people are amazed with. I mean, again, you break a leg and you come back.
That's amazing.
You come back in July. You miss 6 months and you come back in July, and now you're this good. You're one of the best Group 1 type horses over in Europe/Japan. It is pretty amazing. So okay, you're going to go with a horse that might be your favorite, and we're looking forward to that race tomorrow. The Queen Elizabeth II Commemorative Cup. You can see it live here on TVG. Play of the day for Saturday.
Alrighty. Skip code. Last race of the day coming up tomorrow at Woodbine for trainer Steve Asmussen.
Which race is that? Come on, you guys have a lot of races sometimes.
Race 10.
Race 10, okay.
I'll give you the exact number here.
Okay,
race 10.
Come on.
Skip code.
Come on.
Very unprepared.
Come on,
race 10, number 6.
Give me the race number.
8-1 morning line. This is race 10, number 6, skip code. Last time out, almost went down at the start after being one that was interfered with, I thought. And here comes the 3rd start off the layoff. The barn's got a ton of momentum. 8-1, Steve Asmussen. Last race, skip code tomorrow.
Well, usually I go with a bigger price of what I'm doing, but I like this horse quite a bit on Wednesday. This horse comes back from November 9th. Just raced 3 days ago for Chris Engelhardt. Kichi Bullet, the 6, in race number 3 at Aqueduct. He ran 3rd Wednesday. Spite of Hand was a heavy favorite, a really good racehorse that dropped in. I thought the drop was suspect, but he beat 16 claimers like it was a grade 3. So this horse ran 3rd to Spite of Hand, comes back quickly. Jose Lascano riding extremely well. I know he had at least 3 wins in New York on Thursday. Englehart, 40, a guy who's 24% when he brings a horse back quickly. So I like Kichi Bullet. Jeff, I appreciate your insight as always and your preparation. Well done. Good luck with your picks this weekend.
Okay, Matt, always a pleasure. Have a great weekend, buddy.
My man, Jeff Bratt. It's called Blinkers Off. We'll do it again next time November 18th.
TVG tonight, Hollywood Park. We're on track live with non-stop action. Your best bet to kick off the weekend. Only